Yes, now we're good.
All
Now
right.
tell me, introduce yourself and tell me about the occasion.
Okay. Kenneth Adams, editor of the Savannah Herald newspaper, and I was moderator this evening for the Savannah branch NAACP's Political Forum, Part 2. We had candidates from District 162 for State House. We had candidates from School Board District 3 and School Board District 7. We also had candidates for Clerk of Superior Court and as well as for the judgeship of Superior Court. This evening was to inform the voters on why we should elect certain individuals for these positions. It was a great turnout. We hope people go out and vote on Tuesday, May 24th. Early voting ends tomorrow, May 20th. We need people to go out, all registered voters, to go out and vote. Cast your ballots and exercise your rights. Good evening and thank you for attending. Clerk Brown moves. Now let's get started. Ms. Kennedy, we'll go with you first.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Brenda D. Kennedy, and I'm running for Clerk of Superior Court. I'm married to Robert Kennedy. We met in 1976. Got married in 1980. I have 2 children, 2 grandchildren. I'm running for Clerk of Superior Court. I have 31 years of experience and qualifications. As Clerk of Superior Court, I worked in the office and I had to resign from my position as Clerk of Superior Court to run for Clerk of Superior Court. So you see, I'm serious about my business and I'm in it to win it. As Chief Deputy Clerk, I train employees in the criminal, civil, and real estate division. As Clerk of Superior Court, I would like to see the clerk office and the citizens of Chatham County work together to resolve all concerns and implement positive standards for a greater future in Chatham County. As Clerk of Superior Court, I don't have to be trained. I will hit the job running. Most clerks that work in the clerk's office, they have 30 years of experience. Susan Prowse, when she was Clerk of Superior Court, she had 30 years of training. Doris Stevens, she had 30 years of training. Brenda Kennedy, I have 30 years of training. If you want to be the Clerk of Superior Court, you start at the front desk and you work your way through the clerk's office. Again, my name is Brenda Kennedy. Please vote for me on May the 24th. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tammy Mosley. Thank you. I'm running for Clerk of Superior Court here in Chatham County. I'm a local attorney here, 22 years. It'll be 23 years this summer. I'm from Savannah, born and raised, a product of the public school system here. I was born on and raised on the east side of town, on East Henry Street. I'm a graduate of Savannah High School, 1987, Morris Brown College, 91, and then Drake Law School in Des Moines, Iowa in 1994. I returned home, practiced a little bit, went to DC, and then came back, and I've been back for 13 years. In the past 13 years, I have worked as staff attorney in Superior Court, writing orders, doing research, and working with the very same office that I'm now running for clerk for. I have a good rapport with the local bar. I have a great rapport with the judiciary. I have a good rapport with the local clerk's office that I'm looking to work for. I will tell you, a lot of people are confused, I think, about what the clerk actually does. This is a job that was created by our state constitution back in the 1700s. It is a constitutional officer, meaning you must be elected. There is no requirement that you have to work there before you're elected there. It is an elected position. one of the 4 constitutional officers, the other officers is the sheriff, the probate judge, tax assessor, clerk of court. The clerk of court was created to keep the official records of Superior Court, the official record being the real estate record. In the 1700s, that record consisted of the real estate record. We were a planned community, we were an organized society, we made our money by moving property. That's why the clerk was created, to keep that record so we could keep those transactions in place. When Superior Court came about, and you have the civil filings and the criminal case filings, that clerk also keeps those records. So now, that's our history. If we want to look forward, my platform is based on technology, access, and continued and expanded customer service. What does the technology mean? Back in the 1700s, everything was on paper, everything was in writing. Right now, we are moving forward. We have purchased some systems that are getting ready to go online, and I will just tell you, it's going to move us forward. It's going to take us upwards 30 years and better. We're going to be moving present day, and we're going to move into the future, because that's what technology is requiring. So what I want to do is move us forward, embrace the technology we've already purchased, and take us into the future, to take us 30 years forward. What I will tell you is, an attorney is needed to deal with the legislature. We have rules that are going to be coming down from our state legislature, and if we don't have someone in that office who can understand what they're writing and balancing it with our needs as a community versus what they're trying to impose on us, I think we could get left behind. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we hear from Ms. Middleton.
Good evening. I want to first of all say thank you to PAC for inviting me to this forum, giving me the opportunity to let the citizens of Chatham County know about my platform. My name is Kimberly Middleton. I am a native of Chatham County. I've lived here all of my life. I attended the public schools of Chatham County, and I graduated from Robert W. Groves in 1979. In 1987, I began my career with the Chatham County Sheriff's Office, first working as a slick sleeve officer at the jail on Montgomery Street. I entered a field that was traditionally law enforcement oriented, however, it was man-based. That meant that traditionally men entered this particular field. However, I entered the field, I worked hard. I did everything from serve child to inmates to take inmates to the doctor. I served the community and I served the organization well. I moved up through the ranks from private to corporal to sergeant to lieutenant and was promoted to captain in 2007. I was the first female to ever make the rank of captain in Chatham County Sheriff's Office. Now, Chatham County Sheriff's Office has been around since 1732. I made captain in 2007. Chatham County Sheriff's Department has been around since 1732. In 2012, I was appointed by the late Al St. Lawrence as the first female major in the organization. Chatham County Sheriff's Department has been around since 1732. I consider myself a pioneer. I have paved the way for many a woman, many a minority in that organization. I have struggled through what has been considered the good old boy system. But I'll tell you this, I worked. I worked. From the floors of the jail to the Internal Affairs Unit, where I ran the unit for approximately 10 years as the commander of Internal Affairs. I was also the commander of security for the Chatham County Jail. I was also the commander of operations for the Chatham County Jail. I had the ability to work with many people, not only in the jail, but also in the community. I have served this community well. And once again, I'm attempting to be a pioneer and pave a way for women and minorities in our community. I'm Kim Middleton, and I'm running for Sheriff of Chatham County. Thank you.
Colonel Holmes.
Good afternoon, my name is Macarthur Holmes, a retired colonel with the Chatham County Sheriff's Department. My tenure with the Sheriff's Department covers some 33 plus years, almost 34 years. I started out on that old Haversham Street jail that SCAD has now. I worked there and was able to move into the jail on Montgomery Street. I stayed there until we constructed what was known as a detention center, or Unit 5, out on Carl Griffin Drive. I was appointed the director of that facility. My experience with the Sheriff's Department covers every facet of that operation, from working the floors, from feeding, from doing classification. I was a classification officer. I was a training manager. I was the internal affairs officer. I was the assistant jail administrator for over 15 years. And then I was the jail administrator for over 10 years. So my experience with the Chatham County Sheriff's Department covers every facet of that operation. As the jail administrator and as the assistant jail administrator, I was successful in moving the Chatham County Sheriff's Department's Corrections Bureau to the top level within the nation itself. We were a resource center for jail facilities all over the nation. We were also a resource center for the southeastern region of jails. That was from the East Coast all the way down to the Florida border. And we had other jails that were coming to us for advice. I was also successful in becoming the second jail that was accredited by the American Corrections Association. And that is the highest accrediting body for jail standards within the nation itself. My training, my education, I am a product of the school system of Chatham County. I have a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. I have additional studies from the University of Colorado, studies from the National Institute of Corrections, National Institute of Justice, American Corrections Association, and a number of other associations. I have served as the president of the Georgia Jail Association, of the Georgia Noble, which is the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Officers, and we train executive levels all over the nation. I am in this race in order that I might bring the Chatham County Jail back to its original and its needed form. We thank you for your attention, and we thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now to the questions. First up is Clerk of Superior Court, Ms. Tammy Mosley. What three changes would you make to the Office of Superior Court? Clerk of Superior Court.
The first three things that I would do, the first thing would be to implement and fully maximize the technology that we purchased already as a county. The county and the city have purchased a new computer system. There was one purchased in 2013, which was a real estate electronic filing system called COT. Then we contracted and bid it out with the city for implementation of electronic filing with Tyler Industries. And so that's called Odyssey. That is being formulated and kind of massaged for Chatham County right now. So that first data push is going to occur this July. They anticipate the third one will finish in September of 2017. So with that happening, we will need to really implement the system, make sure it works, troubleshoot it, and make sure we maximize the full benefit for the taxpayers. The taxpayers have already purchased it. So let's go ahead and move forward with it. That would be the first thing that I would do. The second thing would be to make sure that with use of that system and with the other programs that are already in place in the office, to make sure that we have the accessibility for the public, for the attorneys, that there's accountability, that everyone can see what's going on. There's no reason why we're in a society where we can't see documents. We have the ability to do it. Let's do it. Let's open it up and make sure that everyone can see it. It should make things faster. It should increase efficiency. It will also generate some income, because if you're pulling down things off of the system, you're going to pay for that access or that service. And then the third thing would be to make sure that everyone is treated with the best care when they come into the clerk's office. I want customer service above all for everyone. The unrepresented litigants, the attorneys, the real estate people who come in, the paralegals, everyone. Those would be my three things.
Ms. Brenda Kennedy, what are the most important duties of the Office of Superior Clerk, and how do they affect the citizens?
The most important duties in the clerk's office is to take care of the customers and the people. Technology is fine, it'll work, but we still need our paperwork for those who cannot read, those who do not use the computers. We have people who come to the office all the time that do not have the understanding of the law. So my main concern, I think is important, is to take care of the general public. And that's one of the main things I'd like to see. And also to get a better system that we have in the real estate division. Yes, COT is there. COT has a lot of problems. After we got rid of Iron Data and Johnny Harris, COT came in. And Dan Massey appointed me to handle the new software. So I would like to see a better software in the real estate division. And I also would like to see that all the customers that come in the office, especially the pro se litigants, be able to use the Pauper's affidavit more frequently in the court, in the office. My main concern is the general public, and that's what I care about, because those are the ones who's being affected by the system. So we won't keep creating the angry man.
Thank you. Colonel Holmes, is there something specific you want to do differently in the jail that will assist those in your care and their families?
I think one of the major problems within the operations of the Sheriff's Department is that we've gotten away from just the basics of law enforcement operation and jail operation. We have gone in a direction that has only been detrimental to the citizens of Chatham County, the employees of the Chatham County Sheriff's Department, and those persons that are housed within that facility itself. When you look at the operations of that jail, I think we need to get back to staff training, making sure that those individuals are given proper training, make sure that they are given the respect, make sure that the policies and procedures are adhered to, and make sure that we get back to an accreditation state that we were in before. There is no policies and procedures now that are nationally recognized that the jail is, or the Sheriff's Department is following now. And we need to make sure that we are doing what the other part of the nation is doing. The other thing that we need to do is we need to become fiscally sound. When I was jail administrator, we had over 2,100 inmates within that jail. We had an annual budget of $33 million. Now they only have 1,600 inmates, and they have a budget of over $55 million annually. What is happening with that? That don't sound, it don't make any sense to me. And I think we've gotten to the point where we're just spending out of hand, and we need to get some accountability back within that facility, so we won't have the problems of inmate deaths and injuries of staff members within that facility that are unaccounted. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Middleton, what are your top 3 priorities of the elected sheriff?
My top 3 priorities, number 1, is restructure and reorganize the agency. It needs to be reorganized and restructured from the top down. It's a bit top-heavy, and the people that are at the top need to have not only the knowledge, the training, and experience, but they also need to have some education. I think it's important that we educate or create a culture of education with the organization that it does not currently have. The second thing would be to establish or obtain a national accreditation. At one time, we were accredited nationally. Currently, the Chatham County Sheriff's Office is not accredited. It lost, well, it didn't lose its accreditation, it gave it back. And so currently, the only component of the organization that you might consider to be accredited is the medical department. And it's accredited by the Georgia Medical Association. But I believe that we need to be accredited, not just on the jail side, but on the enforcement side. And that's something that's never been done at Chatham County Sheriff's Department. We need to bring in the highest level of accreditation nationally, which is the National Sheriff's Association. They can bring the organization together with policies, procedures, and standards. Current federal laws will legislate the policies that are taught to the employees. The third thing that I'm going to do is get rid of the current medical provider, Corizon. I believe that they are a great liability, not only to the organization, but to the community and the taxpayers of Chatham County. Horizon needs to go. It should have been gone a long time ago. And that would be my top 3 priorities when I become sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're here closing remarks from Brenda Kennedy.
We know that the clerk office has many duties, but some of the primary duties I want to bring to your attention is the notaries, garnishments, name change, seal cases, evidence, UCCs, military discharge, charters. Those are just some of the duties. And you see, by me having 30 years there, I am your walking file cabinet. I'm honest, I'm fair, I do what the job requires of me, and most of all, I respect others. When the Board of Equalization came under the clerk's office, I was assigned that responsibility, along with my court responsibility also. And when the Assistant Chief Deputy retired in the Real Estate Division, I was appointed that new software to keep it going. If you want good service, and you want the courthouse to run right, and you want your navigator, vote for me, please. Brenda Kennedy, May the 24th. Now, it's not that hard, it's not that serious. I'm not trying to run for the White House, I'm just trying to get back to the courthouse. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Tammy Mosley, and I'm running for Clerk of Superior Court. I'd like to stress to you that my 22 years of experience as an attorney, having gone through the training and having been barred since I took the bar the first time, I am qualified to be your Clerk of Superior Court. I have a good rapport with the court already. I already work in Superior Court. I've seen the life of a case from the time it leaves the clerk's office, and oftentimes have assisted in creating that life when the case is made to come to the judge's office so that we can rule upon it, to get it back to the clerk's office to shut the case down. So I'm very, very familiar with all the cases that come through Superior Court. And Superior Court is given its jurisdiction by the Constitution. Therefore, all the things that Superior Clerk's office handles, I've handled on the legal interpretive side, working in the judge's office. So I would stress to you that I do have the experience to be your next Clerk of Superior Court. I would also say that that experience will allow me to help in ways that, for example, in interpreting the law, for example, the Pauper's Affidavit is something that we don't have any discretion over. The law has a standard and how a Pauper's Affidavit is approved, how it's issued, and who can approve it. The clerk does not have the discretion on making that determination. Oftentimes, that is left with the judge. There are some cases when it can be decided, but if the legislature were to change it, then we need to know that as a community. So I would offer you that I'm that person that's going to be able to watch out for our community and make sure we're abiding by the rules that come down from our state legislature and from our clerk's authority, and locally when our judges make rules and decisions that affect the clerk's office, that we would know that as a community. Being from here and having been raised by my grandmother, respect and taking care of our community, and especially our elderly people, is of the utmost concern with me. Oftentimes, when you come into the courthouse, it's already an intimidating place. You walk in, there are cops that meet you at the door. You don't know where you're going. You have no idea. When you have a case that's in Superior Court, or even if you don't have a case that's in Superior Court, but you happen to walk into the clerk's office, I promise to be there to help you. I will give you that assistance and that information to help you reach where you're going and try and help you navigate to go and make it to where you need to go, or to see your file, or to get your copy. Once again, the election date is next week, May 24th. This is a contested primary election, so winner takes all next Tuesday. There's not another chance in November. Please vote, and I ask that you please vote for Tammy Mosley. Thank you.
Closing remarks from Kimberly Miller.
I am Kim Middleton, and I'm asking for your vote on May 24th as your candidate, your choice for the position of Sheriff of Chatham County. I'm running for sheriff because I have the knowledge, the training, the experience, the passion, and the compassion to do the job. I want to shift the image of the sheriff's office by placing focus on what unites us instead of what divides us. I hate that the position of sheriff is a partisan position, but as sheriff, I will serve all people in this community in a fair and objective manner, without bias, without prejudice, or without aught. I have no hidden agenda. The people's agenda will be my agenda. I will use unified strategies to accomplish unified solutions for our jail, for our department, for our county, and for our community. I'm a part of this community. I have served the citizens of Chatham County well. I want to make Chatham County an even safer place to live, to work, to play, and to stay. Now, what will Chatham County Sheriff's Department look like under my leadership? It will be a well-respected, professional, and diverse entity within our community. It will be in the center of whatever is going on in our community with our citizens, whether they're young or whether they're old. We will be there. It will be an organization that will meet the needs of the community while providing a safe, secure environment for our inmates and our staff. As your servant leader, I will push to build, to restore, to stabilize the organization, to bring back uniformity, to bring back professionalism, utilizing human resources, technology, and current laws. I'm Kim Middleton, and I'm asking you for your support. I'm asking you for your vote on May 24th as your candidate for Sheriff of Chatham County. Thank you.
There are many people that ask me the question, why after 34 years with the Sheriff's Department that you want to get back into this race. It is personal to me because I spent over half of my life developing and moving that Sheriff's Department forward, and in less than 4 years I saw it move from one of the most recognized departments within the nation to be one that everybody was embarrassed over. Many of the things that my opponent talked about restoring, those are the things that I brought and I implemented to the Sheriff's Department. Concepts of fairness. Fairness in promotion, fairness in assignment, fairness in everything that dealt with that Sheriff's Department itself. The Sheriff's Department right now has no leadership. That's from the top down. When I left there 4 years ago, I spent over 25 years as an administrator. They have had 4 jail administrators in just 4 years. No accountability, no continuity of management, and no continuity of making sure that everything is accountable. I want to do whatever I can to make sure that we get this budget back under control. And I want to start the concept of just warehousing inmates. It's the duty and responsibility of those persons that are the caretakers of those inmates to make sure that they are better persons when they leave than when they came there. Not just lock them up in a cell and do nothing. I was successful in bringing more programs to that Sheriff's Department than any other jail within Georgia itself. We were noted for that. And we want to make sure that we have a level playing field in every division of that Sheriff's Department. We had problems where there were only certain people that were promoted to the Enforcement Bureau. Everybody that wanted to get promoted, it wasn't a fair selection process. It wasn't a fair promotion process. We want to make sure that everything is above board and fair. And I want to make sure that when a person is hired as a deputy or an employee of the Sheriff's Department, that person can feel safe. Those of you who read the paper this morning saw where another lawsuit has been filed against the medical department. We need to make sure that our staff are taken care of and that people work within that environment, that they are given the tools, they are given the tent, the resources, and they are given the attention that they need in order to do their job. My name is Matt Dr. Holmes, I am your best candidate for the office of sheriff, and I solicit your vote. Thank you.
Last but not least, candidates for House Seat District 162. Please come forward. Alicia Blakely, Carl Gilliard, Joseph Shepard, and Superior Court Judge Peter Mueller, and Judge John Morris. Good evening. We'd like to hear your opening remarks. We'll start off with Ms. Blakely. We'll start
Hello,
off with
everyone.
opening remarks.
Can you hear me? Good. You said you were going to start with opening remarks with me. So, we're going to start with me. First of all, let me apologize to you all for being dressed like this. I was out in the community campaigning. I just found out that I was supposed to be here at 6:51 p.m. I apologize. Anyway, I'm Alicia Blakely. I'm running for House Seat 162. I'm running because we need a real voice in the state of Georgia to represent area District 162. I ask that you all will consider voting for me because I am that voice. I am unbought and unbossed, and I want to be the representative for House Seat 162. Thank you.
Shepard.
Good afternoon. I want to thank God for allowing all of us to be here this day. Because without him, we can't get anything done. My name is Josie Shepard once again, and I'm running for House Seat 162. For you all that know me, and for you all who don't know me, let me give you my story. December 9th, 1959, I was born here in Savannah, Georgia. I attended both public and private school. I attended both Windsor Forest and Beach High School and graduated from Windsor Forest High School. I also attended Armstrong State College as well as Savannah State College. And I have a degree in banking and finance. I am a second generation businessman with over 30 years experience. The reason I am running for House 162 is not for a title, because the only title that I want is service. The reason why I'm running for House 162 is because I want to take my talents and my skills that I've learned over being in business for 30 years, as well as my degree in banking and finance, to help the state of Georgia take care of its business and to bring resources back into our community so that our community can become a better community. Thank you.
Judge Morris.
Yes, sir.
Opening statement.
Can I get both sides?
You're the judge.
Just kidding. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jonathan Morris Jr. I am one of your Superior Court judges here in Chatham County. I'm a native Savannian, having been born in the Amacroix community here in Savannah, going to the public schools of Savannah, and then attending the Savannah Country Day School where I graduated in 1976. I am running for re-election to the Superior Court of Chatham County after having been appointed in 1995 as your Superior Court judge. In fact, it was 21 years ago yesterday. And and I'm asking for your support to continue to serve in this particular office, where I feel that I have the experience to continue in this particular job. I feel that I've been fair over the 21 years that I've been in the court, and that I have the integrity with respect to doing this particular job. Now, I've been called during the course of this campaign a politician. One of the candidates indicated this afternoon that she, in fact, is a politician. And during this campaign, I've been wondering whether or not that's going to be something that is ugly or shady or sinister. But by definition, a politician is someone who is professional, someone who is experienced, and someone who is skilled in a particular art or science and dealing with government or administration. And as your Superior Court judge for 21 years, that's what I've been doing. I've been a judge. And so I don't have a problem with being called a politician, but more than anything else, I'm your public servant. I've been accused of not having ever represented a client as an attorney. I've been a trial attorney for 34 years. It's been my privilege and my fortune that for about 25 years of that, I've been serving as a judge in this particular county. Now, I have served and I do represent clients. I represent you. I represent each and every one of you, whether or not you vote for me, whether or not you like me. I even represent my opponent. I represent all citizens of Chatham County in a nonpartisan aspect, regardless of race, religion, creed, or color, and everything that comes into the particular court. That comes in whether or not it's on the criminal side, civil side, domestic side, I have to represent you. So I've been trying to figure out what this particular campaign is really about, because on one side it's been quite venomous, and I haven't really understood what the reason for that has been. Through the course of this particular campaign, I've gotten some feel of what it's about, and we'll deal with that in a little bit.
Thank you, sir. Now some questions. Mr. Shepherd, what is your position on employees earning a living wage?
Well, my platform is 3 points on my platform: public safety, economic empowerment, and education. It is critical, very critical, that people earn a living wage in order for them to take care of themselves and take care of their families. As the school board members talked about, the critical aspect of having those types of incomes coming in. We as a community have to not only understand the fact that we need to begin to share with each other, because it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about sharing experiences, sharing knowledge, in order to make that person a better parent, but also to help with our community to connect with each other. Just because one person may make 6 digits and another person may look in poverty, there's no reason for those 2 individuals not to come together. And we see too much of that. So when we look at income, it's important for us to have a living wage so that our community, so that our children, so that our elders will be taken better care of.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Latham, what legislation would you like to introduce during your first year if elected?
That's a very good question. I thought you was going to ask me about the living wage, because I had a very good answer for it. But the main thing that I would like to introduce is actually associated with a living wage, to make sure that individuals who, when you look at Savannah as a whole, and I'm representing the 162nd, when you look at it as a whole, we are a community that is riddled with crime. And if we can fix the crime by addressing the poverty, by making a living wage for individuals of at least $15 an hour, then we will see a decrease in crime in this community. One of the things that I would like to see is that legislation introduced to actually increase the living wage.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Judge Moore, if you were given one wish to change the law, add a position, anything that would make your life better, what would it be?
repeat that again?
It's not my question. If you were given one wish to change the law, add a position, anything that would make your work life better, what would it be?
I would like to add more than just one position, but, it would probably be another judge. To be honest with you, I have a staff of 2 individuals that help me deal with everything that comes into the court. We have about 10,000 filings a year that we have to deal with. And over 25 years, I've had to handle over 75,000 different type of cases. I have tons of paper or electronic matters that I have to review on a daily basis. My staff and I are working from 7 in the morning until late in the evening many times to deal with all the stuff that comes in. And to be honest with you, what I would really need more than anything else are additional days in the week.
Okay, now we'll go to the closing remarks. We're going to start with Mr. Shepard. This time.
Thank you all for being here today. It does my heart a world of good for us to come together as a community and to be able to listen to the issues that we all must deal with. Once again, my name is Josie Shepard, and that's J-O-S-E-Y. Not some people think that I am a woman. I'm not. Some people. But I really need your vote, because I do believe, in my heart of hearts, me being a native of Savannah and seeing the transitions that have taken place in our community. For those that know me, I have the biggest heart, and I want to take care of my people, all of our people. Because I believe in a society where we should be able to meet in the middle, where we can begin to have conversation and dialogue on things that we both can agree with, versus being at odds with each other. And one of the things that happens in the 162 is that we need to connect with one another. One of the major issues and concerns that I've heard while walking through the district and losing 15 pounds is the fact that people don't know who their representative is. The other thing is that the 162nd is the 4th largest district in the state of Georgia. That means that there's a lot of power. If we can connect that power, which is what I'm about, developing a strategy, implementing a strategy, then we can take care of ourselves. And by being a representative, I will bring Atlanta to Savannah. I will make it a situation where I am very accessible to everyone, because everyone is important to me. And we have to understand that Georgia. We have to love, respect, and have admiration for each other. Because that's what it's all about. The 4th largest district. The 4th largest. I hope some of y'all get that tonight. And it is the 4th largest. The reason I'm saying that because there's so much power. So much power. The things about laws cannot change the heart to mind. The only thing laws can do is create. So we need to understand that. And we need to understand that Josie Shepard, the good shepherd, is the right choice.
Okay. Josie just said something that I thought about that led me to believe that the only reason you want to go to Atlanta is because of power. Well, that's not what I want to go to Atlanta for. I want to go to Atlanta because I want to see real change in 162. I'm an Army veteran. I've served in the United States Army for over 24 years. I'm a longshorewoman. I know how the port operates. I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I want to see a difference made for my children and my grandchildren. I hope that you will send someone to Atlanta that is not afraid to ask the questions that need to be asked, that is unbought and unbossed. I am Alicia Blakely, and I'm asking for your vote for real and honest representation in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you.
Judge Morris, would you like to hear your closing remarks?
Thank you. First off, I want to say thank you to each and every one who is here, because I stand on the shoulders of this community. I am a public servant. I've been doing this job for nearly 25 years in a combination of state court as well as the Superior Court. This campaign has not been an issue of qualifications, because if we look at both my opponent and I, we're both attorneys. We both have gone to prestigious law schools. We both relatively young. I think what sets us apart more than anything else is the way that this particular campaign has been conducted. I have done my best to conduct this campaign in the way in which a judge ought to do. Someone that ought to represent you well, and have temperament and integrity to make sure that this office has the dignity that it has. So I'm asking you to vote for me because not only do I have the experience, not only have I been fair in adjudication of anything that comes in front of me, but I've demonstrated during this campaign the temperament that is necessary for anyone who decides that he or she wants to be a judge. And that is that you're going to have to, many times, take criticism, not be able to respond to it, and still do your job with integrity, with fairness, and with boldness. So I thank you so very much, but sometimes doing this job is going to be hard. Sometimes I deal with the lives of people with some life-changing situations that I have to make decisions on. Some decisions are not liked. That I understand. I understood that when I signed up for the job 25 years ago. That everything that I do is not going to please everybody. And I know that I can't please everybody. But I do my best to represent you well. Every day when I wake up, I say that prayer before I go into the courtroom. I make sure that the road does not take over me, that I give it the humbleness and sincerity that's necessary to deal with the lives of people, not simply just dealing with an office. Thank you so very much.